Oh, I'm sorry, did you want to live? These crits are hilarious. Dude, it's just insane. Hey, what is hot everyone, and welcome back to another Outriders video. My name is Ben Lee. I make multiple videos every single week on Outriders, tips, tricks, guides, loot farms, you name it. So if that sounds good to you, go down, hit that like button and smash that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss my future content. I'm currently on the road to 200 subs. Don't be like Dave here. Come on Dave, you could do it, so hit it. But today I've got a really good video for you guys, any of you tricksters out there. This is my very forgiving trickster crit build. Not only is the damage hilariously high, but it's also just really fun to play. I'm not a particularly flashy player, I'm not going to be getting any world records or anything, but I'm still able to achieve gold on my expeditions on CT15, even like Boomtown, even though this map can be a little bit tricky for tricksters because the amount of freeze sometimes that the captains put out. Plus when they lowered the time, it's made it a bit harder, but I'm still able to consistently reach gold. Now one of the best things is you actually only need 2 legendaries for this build, and one of them you can buy, which takes away some of the pain. However, I now run free tier 3 mods because I got one dropped for me really recently. However, it's not mandatory. So getting to the skills, Twisted Rounds is absolutely mandatory. Venator's Knife here, I believe this is your best option. It's very useful and it's on a very low cooldown, so you can proc your damage buff. And Hunt the Prey, in my opinion, is your best option as well here. Not only does it allow you to go straight behind the captains for the damage buff, it also allows you to catch those pesky riflemen that run to the outside of the map, which is so annoying, but it will increase your clear time by being able to catch them really quickly. Trust me, I've tried Borrowed Time and it just doesn't work the same. It reduced my clear speed and it just wasn't as much fun teleporting around. Next up we have the class abilities. We're going through the assassin tree, so through the top tree, picking up things like Shotgun Master and Disruptive Firepower and Outrider Executioner. These two are absolutely mandatory. Without these, I really notice a massive decline in my damage. We don't particularly need things like armor piercing. You could potentially play around with these, but I prefer to keep Singularity up. We're getting extra damage from attacking from behind. We've got one there, and we've also got the unforeseen end again there. So this is what I meant by when you teleport behind an enemy, you're getting immediately an extra 40% extra damage. You do not need transfusion. I believe that there is enough sustain with my build, and we'll get onto the mods in a moment. I don't think transfusion is worth it. I'd much rather go down for Bounty Hunter, Oddity Simulation, and Cold Calculation. And we also have the arms trick over here, just to get out an extra 15% extra weapon damage. So give that one a screenshot, guys, take that. I have messed around with things. I don't believe that this one is relevant at all, because we don't really want to be running out of ammo in our guns. So we don't want an extra weapon damage buff after that one. And we don't, again, need armor piercing there. So with that skill tree, we're dealing absolutely massive amounts of damage. We're getting damage buffs when we're jumping behind someone. We're also getting damage buffs every time we use a movement and a deception skill. And yes, they do stack, so you can use them both one after another for an absolute humongous damage boost. And that's one of the best ways to take out the captains, is to be able to use your deception skill, then use your movement skill to get behind them and stack not only the buffs from both your skills, but also the 40% extra damage from being behind them. So moving on to our weapons and armor, the weapon we're using is the Bulwark. This legendary weapon has the ultimate bleeding bullets, and I've got Embalmer's Rage on it. So to start off with, you can buy this weapon from Diego. You can get it from down here. I've already bought it, so it's not showing up, but this is where you get it. Super simple. You just need to be able to farm a couple of expeditions to get some drop pod resource, and then you'll be able to buy it from him, no problem. The other mod I have on there is Embalmer's Rage. That is one of the mandatory mods for this. This is what allows us to have infinite crits no matter where you shoot them. So Embalmer's Rage, for 5 seconds after a killing shot, all following shots will be critical. This is hilarious. It's absolutely amazing. As soon as I got this, and I was quite lucky, it was actually the second legendary I got when I was doing my expeditions, and as soon as I equipped it, I thought I have to make a build around this because it is hilariously strong. And it's also just really fun to see all those yellow numbers pop up. So the High Roller is a legendary shotgun. As soon as you get that, the shotgun itself isn't that great. Break it down, get yourself the mod, and you can use it on a whole host of different weapons. Secondary weapon and pistols, ignore these. I just swap these around sometimes when I feel like it, just for aesthetics, just for the look of it, if it's on my back for example. I don't actually use these, I don't swap weapons, I don't need to do any of that flashy stuff. I just concentrate on my one weapon. It does absolute wonders for me. Super easy to get, So yeah, the Bulwark. Next up for your armor, the main thing you're looking for attribute-wise is bonus firepower and close range damage. Thirdly, from that, you want to have cooldown reduction. So, because Skill Life Leech, for example, doesn't work with Twisted Rounds, so there's no point in actually having it. But I haven't got the God Rolls yet, I haven't been lucky enough to get all three. However, as long as you've got bonus firepower and close range damage, that is all you need. So for the first mod on here, I have Twisted Fate. So your Twisted Rounds receive 30% critical damage bonus while the skill is active. This makes you do huge numbers with your constant crits. I think it's absolutely mandatory. I have actually played around with this one with Strong Twist, but I have actually found that Twisted Fate does more damage. The second mod I have here you can see is Captain Hunter. This mod isn't essential. If you don't have this mod, you can swap it out for something like Rejuvenation. This will give you a bit more extra firepower as well as more armor, so you will become more tanky. If you're really struggling for tankiness, mitigation from death, but then you might struggle to kill things on CT15. I have managed to do it with Rejuvenation, however I would recommend Captain Hunter if you can get it. It is an absolutely fantastic tier 3 mod. Next up again we have bonus firepower, close range damage, and cooldown reduction. On here I have additional mag. This is one of the reasons why my build is a bit forgiving, because if you do accidentally run out of ammo in your mag, and I'll show you in a moment the other mods I use to be able to get your bullets back, to be able to get infinite ammo, but if you do accidentally run out, you have an extra magazine there as backup, so you don't have to wait for the cooldown. For me, as a non-flashy player, this works incredibly well, so I've got it there, but if you're better than I am, which probably you will be, then you'll be able to get a different mod in there and do a bit of extra damage. You might be able to get in potentially something like Strong Twist, and you'll be able to buff your damage even more, so play around with that, but additional mag works really well for me. And then second off, we have Bloodlust. Now, Bloodlust is absolutely fantastic. It is absolutely mandatory for this build, and I think it is one of the best mods in the game. So, killing shots increase your firepower by 17,505, stacking up to 3 times, and deteriorates every 10 seconds. The amount of firepower this gives you is ludicrous, and it bumps your damage up massively, so Bloodlust is absolutely mandatory. Next up, again, as you can see, my armor is not perfect. We've got bonus firepower, we've got close range damage, but I do not have cooldown reduction. Healing received makes me a bit more tanky. We've got the first mod of Blue Blood. Now this is probably the first mod I would change out, but I haven't been able to get a decent set of leg armor, so it's worked well for me. It does make me a little bit more survivable. It means I don't have to put too many more defensive mods in, but Vampiric Mag, this one is absolutely essential. So killing shots on enemies affected with bleed replenish 50% of ammo in your magazine. This, combined with the Bulwark's ultimate bleeding bullets, so shots inflict bleed on enemies and it's only on a 1-second cooldown, these two combined, this is how you keep up twisted shots pretty much indefinitely, and if you do accidentally fire all your bullets, the additional mag from this mod will see you through. Moving on to the gloves. This one I did get a god roll on. I've got bonus firepower, close range damage, and cooldown reduction. That's your god roll. You want to see if you can get that on all of your pieces. Emergency stance, this is absolutely amazing. This is the king of defensive mods, especially at the moment. There is a bit of a bug with this mod that once it activates, most of the time it will then stay active. Even though the golem animation will finish on your body, the perk will remain active for the rest of your expedition. And this is a 65% damage reduction, which is absolutely insane. And you'll be able to see if it's active from the little shield symbol above your health. So Emergency Stance is my go-to defensive mod. If you don't have Emergency Stance, you can always do things like checking the shops for mods. That goes for any mods. Check the shops, see if they've got them, or just keep farming. I do actually have a really easy and really fast loot farm. You can get loads of epics really quickly. I'll link it on the screen for you now. You can get about 7 items every 30 seconds. So in order to be able to get these god roll pieces, or maybe to be able to get these like tier 2 mods that you don't have yet, super simple. I recommend checking that one out. But if you don't have Emergency Stance, or you don't want to use Emergency Stance, then you can go over and you can use Mitigation from Death. So while you kill things, while aiming down the sights, you get a lot of armor, and it is a lot of armor, so that can really help making you tanky as well. And then secondly, I've got Personal Space, so this grants you 15% bonus to close weapon range damage, and as a trickster, obviously we're in close range. Moving on to the boots, we have Crit Stack. This one again is another mandatory mod in my eyes, so critical shots building up a 5-second stacking effect that grant 3,500 anomaly power, and 7,723 firepower, and this stacks up to 5 times. So just hitting crits, which is what this is all about, then you're going to get more firepower. So this is pretty much up at max all the time, and it's going to increase your damage by an absolute astonishing amount. And also then another tanky mod, we've got damage absorber. Again, you could swap this one out for potentially mitigation from death or even rejuvenation. I quite like it because it's passive, it's always there, and the resistance is nice. So there we have it. You've got a couple of defensive mods, you've got a lot of offensive mods, you've also got a few forgiving mods in there, and it's good enough for me that I can push through. It's really fun, it does absolutely insane amounts of damage, and I'm able to clear through Expedition CT15s quite nicely. And to make life a little bit easier, because I'm just that nice a guy, I'll put them all up on the screen for you now, nice and easy for you to see the whole build all in one go. Alright guys, that's what I've got for you today. If you like the build, it's absolutely insane. It does loads of damage. It's still not perfect, and we can still upgrade it. I'm going to keep working on it. I've got an idea already for something that I can do a bit better, but I need some more legendary pieces. And once I get them, I'll do an update build. But I wanted to get this one out as a bit more of like a budget style build, as I think we can refine it even more. But just as like a casual player, you can still get insane damage. You don't really need that much. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, go down and hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. As I said, I'm on the road to 200 subs, so I appreciate each and every single one of you. So don't be a Dave, hit that button, and until the next one guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll leave you with some footage. This was me getting gold on Boomtown in CT15. It's not a perfect run, I made a lot of mistakes, but it doesn't really matter. As I said, this build's quite forgiving. And if you were to do Chem Plant, that's even easier, so you can get a really nice time on that one, especially if you go into the elevator early and skip the mobs. And one of the best tips with this build I can give you is, once you've thrown out your Venator's knife, and you've jumped on, for example, the back of a captain, if there's a mob nearby, you want to then kill that mob first, and then kill the captain, because you're going to have the damage bonus from the Venator's knife and from your teleport, then you're going to get your crits from killing the mob, and then that's when you can blitz down a captain really, really easily. So it's a bit of a momentum build, but when you pull it off, it's amazing. But until the next one, guys, I hope you at least learned something, and I hope you also have a nice day. See you now.
What the hell is that noise? Looks like I've wandered into some maniac's idea of a party. Look at that. bandit leader's taken care of. Your pass is clear. Where'd these bandits come from anyway?
They were insurgents. Defected to our side months ago.